I mean, it's better than Boone.
Yes,
Or Otter.
Absolutely. Let's see. Make sure we're streaming on the right channel. Treksploration. Yep. We are. I got a notification. We are streaming. Everybody, let us know where we are and how we're doing before we get going proper. Let's see. Some of that. We just did a 3-hour live stream on Quantum Leap Podcast YouTube channel, so check that out if you're not a crossover listener. Yep, Treksploration. I got to learn how to change the default. This is just welcome to our live show. I'll go back in later and fix it. But yep, we're on.
Hey, roll for Tarako. Ruffalo Taco.
Roll for Tarako. Roll for Tarako. I like that. Yeah, you're a D&D guy, right? I want to be a D&D guy.
Yeah. I play with John, actually.
John Irons?
John. I'm playing with John and a bunch of the Cosmic Potato people.
I when I hear these things, I'm like, these are my friends, and they're getting together without me. And
yeah, well, no, the thing is, I was kind of instigating that, and you wouldn't be able to play anyway because we primarily play on Sunday mornings.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Mornings are out for me, and Sundays
yeah, exactly
pretty much out for me. And
yeah, so
but I understand. But it makes me feel like George or Elaine. I'm not sure. Which one of that episode?
I'm sorry.
They're all hanging out, but one of them.
We already have a George.
I could be George. There was that time where I did everything opposite. Oh, we should save it for the show. Okay.
Your
Christopher DeFilippis recording will continue on
your
a
microphone
new track.
cut out, Albie.
Okay, let's see what we got to do here. Let me go to people. Make sure your
a new recording track has started due to a change in your devices, is what it's saying.
It was something loose.
Is it for me or for you?
Oh, it sounds like your microphone went out.
One, two. My microphone is gone.
So change your microphone.
No, hang on.
Like I was hearing you through the laptop's microphone, I think.
How about now?
You sound great now. Tap, 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 tap.
Yep, I hear you. You hear me.
All right. A little behind the scenes, people.
Okay. It's saying a new recording track is great. Do we have to stop and start again?
No, we're fine.
All right.
Yeah. Because let me check, but I think we're still live. Roll for Tarako. Tarako is a bird. I never heard of that bird.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay. Yeah.
This I didn't know.
All right. And remember, subscribe. Thank you for doing that. And you'll have to help me out because I haven't watched the episode today. I watched it 2 or 3 times, I think, but not today.
Oh, we're going to have to help each other out on this one.
Situation. Okay.
It's a whole story.
All right. So I'll take a beat. Hello, Treksplorers, and welcome back to Treksploration. I'm Albie.
I'm Chris. I don't know why I'm doing this.
Stretching. You got to stretch. It's like yoga. That's the exercise us old guys get, just stretching.
One day we're going to do a recreation of that scene with Deanna and Beverly in the aerobic studio.
Wow, that is a stretch goal. Maybe, how about this? If we hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, 1,000, we dress up like Beverly and Deanna in those jazzercise outfits.
I'd say 10,000.
10,000?
10,000.
Okay, do what you got to do, Internet. Make it happen. I want to see Chris in that jumpsuit. I'm Albie, and that's Chris, and this is Treksploration. And today we're talking about Lower Decks, Season 5, Episode 3, The Best Exotic Nanite Hotel. How you doing, Chris?
I'm good. You know, we just came off another live stream that was very satisfying, and we had a great time there, and we get to continue the fun here. I mean, this is the longest night of the year, so why not take advantage of it?
Why not spend the whole longest night of the year with Albie, right?
Right. I don't know if it's the longest night of the year, but it's the night of the year that we get 1 extra hour.
That's true. It's not the winter solstice. That's later.
I thought that was the shortest night. That is the longest.
That's the shortest.
No, that's the longest.
Our hemisphere. Longest night would be summer solstice, right?
No, wouldn't that be the longest day?
Longest day.
Yeah, you were right the first time.
24 hours and a few minutes, right?
You give yourself to this, the longest day. You give
Roll
yourself.
For taco. We are on both YouTube and
all away.
Yep. All right. Willard's here. Roll for Tarako's here. Thank you guys for following us over from the QLP, and thank you for following us on the QLP from Treksploration. We appreciate that.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
All right. The good thing about
and gals, as the case may be.
Yes. If you're watching us on Riverside, you can possibly call in if you have all the equipment needed. Refer to riverside.com. Okay. I'm looking through all the things. Somebody wants cake. Roll for Tarako wants cake. I want tacos because of Roll for Tarako. All right. So tell me about our live stream earlier today for those of us that weren't there.
Oh, well, you have decreed this to be the month of Matt. So
Yes.
for any Treksplorers out there who are unfamiliar with our former lives and our other hustle, we are principal actors in the Quantum Leap podcast. Albie is the creator. I was host for a little while. And one of our fellow hosts, Matthew Dale, who is Mr. Quantum Leap, he literally wrote the book on Quantum Leap. That's not being facetious. He wrote the book on Quantum Leap. This was Matt's legacy. He passed away unexpectedly last Christmas, and we're still reeling from it. But as we strive to remember him and honor his memory, we have decreed that the month of November is the month of Matt. And in so doing, we have decided to do a number of different live streams on our YouTube channel over there, the Quantum Leap Podcast YouTube channel, to try and raise some money for Matt's family, his partner Sharon, and his son Zach. So the first thing that we did to kick that off was we did a live reading of my Quantum Leap book, Foreknowledge. Albie's holding it up right there. It's a book I wrote a gazillion years ago. It's part of the official Quantum Leap novel tie-in series, much like you probably have seen on Star Trek novels, that kind of stuff. And we are going to be doing 4 sessions reading that book aloud. Today we did chapters 1 through 5, I believe.
I think we start with 6 next week.
First 60 pages. Anyway, we're doing it in 60-page chunks. And if you haven't seen it or you weren't there to get it live, you can always go to the Quantum Leap Podcast YouTube channel and watch the stream as live, and you can still donate. All of this is, once again, to try to raise money for Matt's family and to help them have a happier holiday, at least maybe take some of the burden off. So that is what youtube.com/Quantum Leap Podcast.
Quantum Leap Podcast.
Yeah,
I think
easy
there's
enough.
an ad in there sometimes, depending on how you do it.
Yeah, I don't know what YouTube does. Just search Quantum Leap Podcast. We'll come up.
And doing this for us too, because we're still mourning the loss of Matt, but his life wasn't about sadness. His life was about joy. So I think it's time to just celebrate our friend, and that's what we're doing this time. Celebrating our friend and trying to help out the family where we can. So the month of Matt. So if you don't know about Matt Dale, go check that out. If you want to donate just to help us out, help him out, help them out, help Sharon and Zach out, that'd be great. A little known fact. I don't know if you watch to the end of our videos, Chris, on YouTube, but there's a little picture of Matt Dale in that future boy.
His triangle hat. Yeah, the pyramid hat. Yes, I did see that.
Right next to him is a QR code, and that QR code is for his GoFundMe.
Okay, yes, there's still a GoFundMe set up that was set up after Matt's sudden passing last year. And they raised a bunch of money last year, and I don't think they've ever taken it down. So let's take advantage of that and do what we can.
In dollar pounds, it gets donated to them, and I think over a ton of dollar pounds. Does the money go in tons also? So it did pretty good.
Yeah. So it'll, of course, will never be enough, but
10 tons?
We try to do what we can.
What's a 1,000 pound
15 tons.
What do you get? Another day older.
And another live stream of Lower Decks.
Lower Debt. So, do we do first impressions or episode synopsis first? Episode synopsis, right?
Older and deeper in decks. Did we say what episode this was?
This is season 5, episode 3, The Best Exotic Nanite Hotel. And the original air date was 10/31/24.
Ooh, Halloween. Spooky. Ooh, Discovery registry number. Ooh.
Yeah, and that comes into play a little bit later, maybe. Written by Stephanie Monte Ritter, maybe,
Sounds good.
and directed by Brandon Williams. Nice.
Good old Brandon Williams.
Yeah, I think brother of Barry. Not sure. So,
Oh,
Christopher D.
yeah.
Philippus. We read your novel earlier tonight, The Good Book, as I call it, one of your novels. But could you read the episode synopsis you wrote as well for the Best Exotic Nanite Hotel?
You got it. So the crew of the Cerritos is sent to render aid to the Cosmic Duchess cruise ship, a luxury space station that has dozens of distinct habitats for rest and relaxation. But they're rolling snake eyes on the casino hub, where an errant clump of nanites has achieved sentience and is causing increasing problems. The Core 4 plus T'Lyn are sent to find and capture the nanoblob before it causes real damage. But Boimler is pulled from the mission at the last minute, roped into an undercover operation by Ransom and Billups to find and retrieve a rogue admiral, a la Kurtz in the Heart of Darkness. Boimler feels increasing darkness. I should say that with different emphasis. Boimler feels increasing darkness as he suspects he's been dragooned into the mission solely as phaser fodder if things go sideways. Meanwhile, Mariner is having problems of her own as her ex-girlfriend Jen gets assigned to replace Boimler. Only Jen apparently thinks that she and Beckett are still an item because Mariner never actually broke up with her. And thus the stage is set for a series of wacky misadventures based on assumptions arising from miscommunications. Cue the Three's Company theme. Come and knock on our door. Take a step that is old.
Kisses are hers and his. Three's Company too.
And Boimler's in there somewhere.
Somewhere with the short shorts and things are hanging out and they didn't notice it for years.
Yeah, exactly. I think, had I been more ambitious, I would have done an actual song parody that was a Lower Decks Three's Company amalgam, but that would have been more clever than this entire episode. So let's get to our first impressions. Holy crap. I have a roller coaster relationship with Lower Decks.
Yes.
And whoo, I think sometimes Lower Decks got a Lower Decks, and boy, did they Lower Decks all over Lower Decks this episode. Holy crap, what a hacky pile of junk this episode is. Hey, Albie, what did you think of the Best Exotic Nanite Hotel?
This might surprise you, for real.
Okay.
I'm not going to go as far as you did, but I think it was a lower one for me. It was a lower deck. It wasn't the best story. A lot of funny things, a lot of fun things happened that I enjoyed, but as a cohesive story-wise, I feel like it might be setting up other stories in parts, but the story itself just was maybe a day in the life, but an unfocused day in the life.
All right, an unfocused day in life. I feel like there's a song parody there too.
An unfocused day in the life.
Walk out of bed, drag the comb across my head.
It's funny you mentioned Three's Company. Me and Rennie are doing a rewatch of Saturday Night Live from the very beginning. I think it was a Rob Reiner episode.
Yes.
What's his friend? Albert Brooks, I think, did like some kind of TV show coming soon, TV parodies. And one of them was basically Three's Company. And I'm like, is that where they got the idea? Because that was before that. It was crazy. Okay. Random aside.
Maybe. Well, I mean, before we go chasing nanoblobs, should we tell people how they can reach us and tell us what they think of this episode? Well,
that's a great idea. We want to know what you think.
Find us here on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/@Treksploration. You can also join us on our Patreon site, which is our main hub of discussion, or we want it to be anyway. That's patreon.com/Treksploration. You can go there and become a Treksplorer, join the Treksploration community, even without supporting. I was going to say donating, but supporting us financially.
Yeah, we're doing both tonight, supporting and
we're supporting and donating tonight. So yeah, I had my wires crossed for a second there. But yeah, you can support us financially. There are different levels there, and you can see those tiers, but you can just come and join and hang out in the community for free too. And we encourage that. We want one and all comers. Come, tell us what you think about Lower Decks and Star Trek in general. That's patreon.com/@Treksploration. You can get us on Instagram @TreksplorationPod. Hit us up on X at Treksploration. Email us, treksplorationpod@gmail.com. Get us on the phone, on the blower, 707-847-6682. We won't even mind if you share a communicator to do it. You can also send us something at our P.O. Box. That's P.O. Box 542, Bayport, New York, 11705. P.O. Box 542, Bayport, New York, 11705. I'm repeating it for all of our analog peeps out there that are actually furiously writing it down. I know you found your pen and paper. P.O. Box 542, Bayport, New York, 11705. You can also buy us a coffee, support the show that way. It's buymeacoffee.com/Treksplloration. And there, I think you can just give us like a one-time tip if you think this show is good, and maybe don't tip us next time if you think the next show is bad, but then come back and do what you want. We're thrilled to be here. That's all.
We will drink coffee and go
right. And we have Willard has already Three's Company. It's a lightning rod. People are already they're already discussing our Three's Company comics. Willard says both Three's Company spinoffs were also remakes of spinoffs of Man About the House. So I'm thinking, okay, so Three's Company was the American version of Man About the House.
I did not know that.
I remember that Three's a Crowd was a spinoff of Robin's Nest, because instead of Jack, the main character, the male character in that was Robin. Don't ask me how I remember this. I don't think I've ever seen Man About the House.
Larry and Mr. Furley as well?
Well, the only other spinoff that I can think of from Three's Company is The Ropers.
The Ropers. I love The Ropers. When it got canceled, I was so sad.
There was like 6 episodes, and they just rolled it into the syndication package for Three's Company. So they do air a very, they loved having Jeffrey Tambor on Three's Company, and I think he was on both an episode with Terry as Terry's boyfriend, and one of the episodes of The Ropers. He was a regular on The Ropers as their neighbor that couldn't stand them. Yes. So Jeffrey Tambor, if you're an Arrested Development fan, so
almost like George and Gracie thing. They had the neighbors.
So Willard has to tell us which of the British original spinoffs I'm not recalling. So Robin's Nest, I guess, is like Jack's Bistro.
Oh, that was another one, right? Yeah.
Well, no, Jack's Bistro was the name of Jack's restaurant.
Oh, wasn't there a
in
spinoff,
Three's a
though?
Crowd? In Three's a Crowd.
Oh, was it Three's a Crowd? Okay.
Yeah, Three's a Crowd is when he married Vicky, and Vicky's dad bought the restaurant out from Mr. Angelino, who was Jack's longtime boss / nemesis. So, I think I watched way too much Three's Company as a kid, but can you blame me?
No, but there was only 3 channels. So are you going to watch, like 60 Minutes? Or you're going to watch the one with the hot chicks?
Yeah, I'm going to watch the one with what they call Jiggle TV. Are you kidding me?
You can't blame us. It's
all
not
the
our
time.
fault.
Yeah.
It's our nature.
Yep.
It's our nature.
I mean, what do you think they got the inspiration for Deanna in that diaphanous white thing? Anyway, so
where were we?
We were thanking our crew of intrepid Treksplorers. Those include our cadet, Listen Linda, our 1701 members, our Lieutenant Commander Scott Seligman, Cosplay Dad, one of all, and Fantasy Fan, and also our $47 a month member, Captain Charles from Texas. Captain Charles. Attention on the bridge, Captain Charles.
Ooh, thank you, Captain.
So, and I think our Lieutenant Commander Fantasy Fan is making a transfer, but he'll always be part of our crew. I think that he has gone to the Manitoba with Jen.
Ooh,
so he's headed on over there. So congratulations, Lieutenant Commander Fantasy Fan. We know big things are in store for you in this one big happy fleet that we all share. So
yes, congratulations on your promotion as well. So thank you.
Yes. So, and thank you to everybody who's over on the Patreon site, free patrons as well. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sending us photos for the credits. Thank you for becoming part of and enjoying our community as much as we enjoy doing this, because we just love the sounds of our own voices.
Christopher, did we get any feedback? I know we got some live feedback. What Willard says, something?
Okay, so Three's Company was Man About the House. We knew that. The Ropers was George and Mildred. And I was right about Robin's Nest being Three's a Crowd. I've never heard of George and Mildred.
No, me neither. Well, I think as Americans, we're so limited intelligence, we can't understand British. So they got to redo it in our language.
Come and knock on our door.
We'll be waiting for you.
With no bras and all that stuff. Three's Company, yay.
Man,
Okay.
that's when we really needed 4K back then.
Yeah, well, they're gonna
hopefully it was filmed before
re-render
the
them
audience,
in.
not
It
taped.
was filmed before a live
Okay,
audience.
so
I mean,
eventually we'll get it on Netflix.
I feel like the Love Boat's in Super 4K. Three's Company is sure to follow.
Love Boat soon we'll be making another run.
Yes, and we do have other feedback besides everybody's now asking about. Well, it's just Roll for Darko and Willard now having their own side conversation about Three's Company / men about the house.
Then we don't have to talk. Let's just get them on the
Yeah, Roll for Darko wants to know if Mr. Furley was a man about the house, but no,
Love
Don
Mr.
Knotts.
Furley. That was
Don
Don
Knotts is
Knotts,
a
right?
singular. He's a singular talent, and there will never be another like him. So,
He nipped it in the bud with that Jack and Chrissy and all them.
I'm telling you. Do you remember that one episode of Three's Company where
Yes.
one roommate overheard another roommate, and it just turned out to be a misunderstanding?
It was
at
a
the end?
misunderstanding,
Yeah.
but it like led to like crazy hijinks.
Yeah,
That was the best one, I think.
yeah.
We got any
Scott
feedback?
Seligman? Yeah, he emailed and sent us a Patreon message. So
Ooh,
Scott,
awesome.
all right. I'm a bit behind on podcasts, so just listening to this now, but wanted to say glad to hear Albie is better.
Yay.
And know that at least one of those 197 people loves listening to you guys chat about Star Trek. And I'm happy to keep listening to the quote live audio version. It's still what I'm here for.
Awesome.
So I like the audio version too. I was listening to it this afternoon when I was walking Penelope. I was listening to our Shades of Green show. I'm still not done with it. So
I interrupted you, didn't I, when I called?
Oh, yeah, you did. But I'd rather talk to you live instead of listening to me talk to you canned.
So it's like the same, but interactive.
Yeah. It's almost like you're an AI chatbot.
But not Scarlett Johansson anymore, sadly.
So Scott continues. So there's a long story with me having a hearing issue, a custom podcast player that uses a robot to turn speech into text, and also having a hard memory and wanting to search for things I heard. But the short version is, and this is the coolest thing I've ever heard, I wrote a little tool to search past episodes of Treksploration. Feel free to use as you see fit. And he sent us a link. I'm bowled over that anybody would create a program and write an algorithm to remember what we said or parse what we said. Crazy.
Wow. Dude, thank you. I just went there. Thank you for not being a virus, number one.
Yeah.
And number two, that's awesome. Wow, we got some intelligent listeners.
Right?
We got an intelligent crew. Well,
Starfleet is a meritocracy, so you know what? Get your shit together. You're gonna have to get out. Oh no, you won't have to. You could be Mariner too. Oh, yeah, never mind.
Scott is definitely in the science division. I'll say that.
I mean, you could be lucky, and your mom could be captain, and your dad could be admiral. So they'll just cover for you, and yeah.
I've been there. Roll for Tarako says Don Knotts is a legend. I watched him throughout my life, from Andy Griffith to Three's Company to his guest spots on Matlock to Pleasantville, and you can't forget the incredible Mr. Limpet.
I was going to say the amazing Mr. Limpet, but you corrected. No, it's the incredible. Okay. And don't forget the Apple Dumpling Gang.
Oh yeah, 1 and 2, right? Was he in 2?
I don't think he was in Rides Again.
Oh, okay. What's the point then?
I don't know.
Okay. And any other
Yeah, I don't want to read this because it's going to make me seem like a jerk. It's going to make me seem like I don't have school spirit. Captain Charles, but I have to. It's our captain. Captain Charles writes on our Patreon site, dude, Albie is all in. Dude, when will Chris go with the Boems purple? So he's talking about Albie's, listen, Albie's got blonde hair. He can just put like rinse in crap and he's going to look like startlingly different every time. I have like mousy brown hair. And I've already said I have to wait until it gets significantly grayer for you to see a difference if I dye it purple. Not like this Aryan god over here.
I think there's some titanium dioxide in the paint too, so it kind of makes it more opaque. But tonight I'm wearing black, red, and glitter.
So. Something tells me that anything with titanium dioxide should not be applied directly to your scalp. I'm just going to go out on a limb.
Toothpaste has it in there.
Yeah, do you put it on your scalp? Still sounds dodgy to me.
Have I?
I use toothpaste to clean my radios. So
It's a good exfoliant, and then
Mm.
the mint in it. All right, yeah, maybe we'll both go purple. Hey, if we reach 1,000 YouTube subscribers, Chris will go purple, but only temporary purple.
temporary purple.
I'll send you some cans on your.
It's 10,000 for the latex speed suits from that sexy episode. We also had an actual, I think it was YouTube reply from Roll for Chiraco, who's also joining us here on the live feed. And
Thank you.
you're going to have to find this. I know that he put it up, I think, on our Instagram feed. I saw it. Because you can't read his name ever, you kept on calling him Ruffalo Taco.
I'm
So
so sorry.
he rolled a D&D character and he named it Ruffalo Taco. And he provided a picture of it. So,
oh, that's awesome. I'm gonna have to check that out.
And he has a question for you, Albie.
Yes.
Was there a Star Trek role-playing game? I want to know this too.
Why wouldn't there be, right?
I looked it up. There was an old one called, I think, like Fleet Command or something like that, or maybe it was just the Star Trek RPG, and they had it actually. It's just all TOS stuff. It was put out before, I think, even maybe before the motion picture. Like that's how far back it goes. So they have,
series.
or maybe just after the motion picture. It's all TOS, and they call the Klingons that appear in TOS in God, what am I? TMP, Timp,
TMP?
Timp, the Timp Klingons. They got Tas Timp, Tas Timp, Tas Timp. In Timp, they call them Imperial Klingons, and I guess that was their riff on Gene Roddenberry's joke that those are the Northern Klingons, and we've only seen Southern Klingons so far. So
happened to the Romulans too, huh?
Yeah, I guess, which was really misguided, if you ask me. I hate Romulan makeup on Next Gem. Hate.
It is weird because they're Vulcans. So
right. Why do they need those stupid ridges on their head?
It makes no sense unless there was an indigenous people on Romulus. Well, didn't they kind of explain that with Remans? So maybe they look like that because they interbred with Remans.
Okay. Sure.
I mean, there's got to be an
I think maybe the only thing worse than the Romulan makeup on TNG is the entire script of Nemesis. So we can have that discussion.
I don't blame the script. I blame the director. But we'll get there.
I blame it all.
All of it. Why did they cut Wesley? I'm still. I think
Data's death scene was so emotionless in that they had to do it again for Picard.
One more time. Once more with feeling this time.
Exactly.
But I'm an android.
Anywho.
Okay. So what are we talking about? We are talking about the best exotic nanite hotel. Was that kind of a mislead? Because I don't think there were nanites, right? They gave some other explanation.
They were nanoblobs. I thought they were nanites, and then they became sentient. I wrote it down here.
The microship was taking on particles and trying to do something to form its own temporal or dimension rift. And
no, it wasn't doing anything like that. It was just let's see, secret mission. No, hang on, Glumpus. And it was harvesting material and power for self-replication.
So that is kind of like a nanite.
So it was a cluster of nanites that had achieved sentience and then was like growing and trying to grow, and it was consuming energy and material so that it could replicate more and more and keep growing. And throughout the episode, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And speaking of role-playing games, it looked like a 20-sided dice.
Yeah, what was that called?
Done. I think they called it a dodecahedron. I'm sorry, I turned my head away from the mic for anyone
like an ocelot.
An ocelot?
Something. I think I took a picture of it, but it's
ocelot.
Something.
Ocelot.
But so that ship looked a lot like Voyager, but it wasn't. It was like a Voyager class ship, right? What is that? What's that? You're good at ships, right?
I mean, I don't know what the Voyager class ship is, though. It's we'll call it a Valiant class. I just made that up.
Oh, I think that's might have been what it was.
It's a Victory class starship, like a Victory Garden. V for Victory. Or Vendetta.
V for Victory.
Or Peace Dudes. I don't know. Or maybe like the mesh cover with put a little helmet on it here. There we go.
Oh, that was good. Yeah. I like that. Hot Lips Houlihan. Gotta love it. So like I said, the story, I was hoping you would explain the story to me. To me, it was just like a mishmash of all the jokes they had left over, and they kind of strung them together almost in a clip show.
It's not even really a story. It really is like the worst TV trope. I have a friend, my friend Howard, who hosts Destinies, the voice of science
Howard!
fiction. That's where The Flip Side was airing for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. And he always said that he could not stand sitcoms. And I was like, why? There's some really good sitcoms out there. He says, no, every sitcom is based on people being really stupid. And if they would just like talk to each other for 3 seconds, they would have none of these situations that people are supposed to find comedic. And this is chapter and verse a prime example of that. None of this would have happened. I mean, aside from what it says about Mariner, we will get to that. But if they had just said to Brad, hey, we have you on here because you're a competent officer, but no, he sees Jet with no hands. And Jet's like, they're just setting you up for a fall. So instead of asking them, hey, why does Jet have no hands? What happened there? Before I go on this, I feel like I need to know what danger I might be in. But no, he just goes along like gulp, gulp. And okay, that doesn't make much sense. And then Jen saying, hey, babe, I thought you guys broke up. Well, I never actually told her we broke up. So I assume that she thinks that we're not broken up because that's so hyper realistic. It's such hack garbage. What about you? I mean, you say you think I don't know that it's the stories are just not their best. I think it's actually exactly what it tries to be, which is one of the oldest sitcom tropes ever.
Yeah, as Lower Decks goes, it's usually less sitcom and more Star Trek. It's just funny jokes in Star Trek. But this seemed more situation comedy kind of thing. The other thing about situation comedies, besides Misunderstandings, it's just about lying lately. If you watch new sitcoms, the only reason there's misunderstandings is people are lying to each other. And I just sit there and I'm like, why do all these people lie to each other all the time when the real explanation, you're going to tell them anyway at the end of the episode and it's not so bad. But I don't know. I for a minute I thought that the reason Jen was thinking she was Boimler I can do it. Mariner's girlfriend was because of the whole, transferring universes, and maybe they went to the wrong one. That's another one that's slightly different, but much less different. But then when she was just, I was effing with you. That was funny.
Yeah, I mean, but again, so it just honestly points up what a piece of shit Beckett Mariner is. Like to the point where instead of actually speaking to someone like an actual adult, maybe even just like courtesy as a fellow human being to let them know where you stand honestly, to show them that you respect them. No, I'll just avoid it. And I'll just pretend like, and just because I walked past her, she even makes a point of saying I walked past her and she didn't say anything and I didn't say anything. And I figured that was that. You're coward. What? Who
Jennifer
treats?
did take the candle back. That seems very, very definite, very final.
Even for Mariner, I don't buy that. I think it's just conveniently there because plot, because gags. So roll for Tarako writes. Can you read it? My screen is half.
I didn't tell my ex-wife we got divorced, so I think she still thinks we're still married. Also, Mr. Furley raised the rent.
Well, that's because his brother Bart made him do it. So
yeah, and also the D20 is an icosahedron. Yeah, I had to take a screen cap.
Icosahedron,
because I didn't know the word, but it might be a D&D.
But I think wasn't that the same thing that they had here?
Yeah.
So they have the icosahedron.
Yeah, and it was cool that Mariner was counting the sides as it was attacking them.
Oh, see, I didn't even notice that. So I mean, so we have this thing where they're in the casino hub. I love the fact that we spent the whole last episode going with the post-scarcity society and then copping to the fact that people in the 25th century at this point still love gambling.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there are no stakes, they just love the thrill. Dabo!
So I didn't gamble once when I was in Vegas this time.
One of my favorite lines of this was he saying that they have whole rows of Dixon Hill slot machines. And it reminded me of, this is how crazy I got over Frasier for a while. There was actually a Frasier slot machine, and I found it on a website, but it was after I left Vegas.
Wow.
And they said there was one casino off the strip that was still had one in operation. I'm like, do I go back to Vegas just to play the Frasier slot machine? But I got to think that there's probably some skin on the internet where you can play it somehow. Somebody let me know
Like
if
pinball.
I can get the virtual Frasier slot
There's
machine.
got to be Frasier pinball. There's all kinds of Star Trek pinball.
I doubt there's Frasier pinball. I wonder though if those slot machines, since they're all digital now, did they just take the shells and repurpose them and put like a whole new game in there, or is it like you can buy like a Miss Pac-Man machine now for $30?
I'd put it on Facebook Marketplace search terms, just Frasier, and see what comes up. You never know. There's still it's elusive, but one came up. It was a few months back, maybe 6 months back. It was the Star Trek Voyager video game where you actually sit in it and shoot Borg. I think it was like the same game as the home release one. It was Star Trek Voyager, whatever those soldiers were that they had.
Mako? No, that was
something like that.
No, the
But it was
Makos they were on Enterprise.
Oh, this was just a shooter game where you shot the Borg, and it was Star Trek Voyager. And I was trying to get it, but I would have had to do the whole like moving truck and drive it to Orlando and back, and they charge you by the mile. And I was like doing the math. I'm like, why can't it be closer? It is Orlando. And I was like, I wonder if it's the one that was in Disney World, because Disney World had it for the longest time on the second story of Rizzo's Pizza, which was Pizza Planet in Disney World.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was.
I know nothing of this Disney World of which you speak.
Oh, but it was a shooter game, and I hate shooter games, but I like Star Trek, so I thought it'd be cool sitting in my house, you know.
Yeah, I mean, so tell me, like video games. I know we were talking, is there a role-playing game? And I want to get back to that too.
Yes.
Where do you stand on like playing video games? Because I've always been very bad at it, to the point where I would like just throw the controller down in frustration. And that was Atari, where it was just a joystick and a button. I've tried with these Nintendo controllers, and I got really good at one game, which was basically just a running around hacking and slashing game. It was called Medieval.
Never heard of that one.
I loved it, and I got through the first one, and then it was PlayStation 2, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I beat the big bad in the first one, so I bought Medieval 2, and I got halfway through that one, and I just got bored with the whole idea of anything video game, and I gave the whole unit to my nephews. So that's my video game playing in a nutshell. Like tears of frustration and anger that my brother always beat me at it no matter what, followed by brief infatuation / victory, followed by complete ambivalence. And if I never play another video game, I don't care. How about you?
I don't like the shooters. I don't like anything too violent because I think when you're in a video game, you're like putting yourself, especially when they're first person. I don't want to be shooting people. I've shot some zombies because they're not really people. So I think that counts. That doesn't count. But I'm more like of a choose your own adventure game kind of person. So like I really got into PC games around the early 2000s, late 90s, where they were called FMV games, full motion video, where basically you watch like a little video clip and then you decide what to do next, you know? So it's basically choose your own adventure. And those kind of games is what I get for my PlayStation 5. I got a PlayStation 5. Played the Quarry recently, and After Dawn, was it? Which are basically the same thing, but they're all computer animated. But like every choice you make, you're just going down different branches of a story. So it's more like it's an interactive story versus like... Star Trek has a really good one out. That's the reason I bought the PlayStation 5, because Star Trek just put out Resurgence, I want to say it's called. Somebody help me out. But that's a really good one. That takes place like in the Next Generation times. and there's like an old Mr. Spock in it, and the guy they got to do Spock's voice sounds like 98% Leonard Nimoy. It's really good, and it's fun. That's a fun one, but it's choose your own like path kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's kind of like when we were playing the very old ones, the Q ones.
yeah, those were FMV, Star Trek
Right.
Borg, Star Trek Klingon. We will be playing a video here, hopefully when the timing works out, as a bonus episode. If you guys want to check it out, should we tease them with that or just surprise them?
Yeah,
When it
tease
comes
them.
up? We're going to be playing the old PC game that came out, I think, early 2000s, around the same time as Borg and Klingon, I think. But it was basically like Jeopardy, but Star Trek Jeopardy, hosted by John Delancey. So we're going to be doing like Star Trek trivia during the video game. So that'll be fun. I just upgraded my whole streaming setup because I was just coming through as a blob. Willard says I play Starfleet Command. I think
Star Trek Fleet Command.
Star Trek Fleet Command. Is that the open world one? I think.
I think
like,
so. I think that's like Star
Crusher's
Trek
the leader of the
online or
Mirror Universe or something.
No, I think our graphic designer Scott Madison plays Star Trek Fleet Command. He's very into it and he enjoys it. I've heard very mixed things about that because I was always intrigued by, you know,
Massive multiplayer
MMORPG, yeah, role-playing game, yeah, MMORPG.
There you go.
With World of Warcraft because I love like fantasy and Tolkienian settings, but I just couldn't see spending so much time doing it, you know, living virtually when I could be reading a book or something. And then I heard about Star Trek Fleet Command and I was like, well, that might be cool. Let me see if I can get into that. But then everything I read about it said it's like the worst aspects of those types of games. The Star Trek one embraces all of it, where it's just basically pay to play. So you can't really advance unless you buy a whole bunch of extraneous stuff that will enable you to, I mean, I guess you could to some degree, but without it, you can't really get the full game playing experience, which I guess they got to eat too. But, you know, I don't know that I want to spend my money on that kind of stuff. So I don't know.
That kind of game, I think I would like to watch like the cutscenes on YouTube put together to like a movie maybe. Because I'm very hit or miss with Star Trek games because I love Star Trek, but so many Star Trek games are like, most of the game is like firing at other ships or like setting things for your ship, like weapons and this and that and all this stuff. And it's like a job that I wouldn't understand how to do, and it just doesn't seem fun. I like the games that are like story driven, character driven. And yeah, there's some things maybe you got to do, like, you know, duck and maybe fire at a Klingon or something. But other than that, it's mostly just story. So like if it's a Starship Simulator kind of thing, I'm pretty much out.
I got you. So, and the other thing is, I don't understand how any of this works because if you're playing in this massive environment with other players, how do you have any kind of parity with anybody if you go on these missions? Like someone might be playing for 35 years. I just started 35 seconds ago. How do I interact with this dude or dudette or whatever the case may be? I honestly don't understand the logistics of it. So
yeah, because if somebody has all the weapons and all the power and all the healing spells, and you're just like brand new.
Yeah, exactly. So Willard is commenting on the Fleet Command. He's saying that I'm free to play. You can level up, but it takes longer than playing the thousands that the whales play. Oh, paying the thousand that the whales pay. So thousands. I mean, wow.
Yeah, I saw a YouTube mini documentary video thing on like certain games and how they figured out how much you would have to spend to actually win the game, and it's like 70 grand. So it's just ridiculous.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I want a PC game from 2005 that I can type run on my computer and play the whole thing.
Gotcha. You know what?
$1.98.
What was the old I don't know if this is an urban legend or not, but I think I've seen talk that the Ghostbusters video game,
Commodore 64, didn't it have it, or was it Amiga?
But whatever the gameplay was is beside the point. They said if you take all the cutscenes from that, it adds up to just basically a 90-minute Ghostbusters movie. like
I'll have to
that's
check that out.
contiguous and makes its own sense without any of the gameplay or anything like that. So you can basically have your own sequel.
Oh, I think I have that for I want to say PlayStation 3 or 4 or something like that, but I never played it. Maybe 4. You know what's really great? I really recommend if you play anything, because I know there was a movie made for you, Back to the Future 2. Not everybody's heard of
2?
it. Yeah. But Back to the Future 4. So it's Back to the Future, the video game. I originally played it on the Wii, but it's also for PC, and I think PlayStation has it. But it is spot on, perfect.
Maybe that's the one that I'm thinking of where the cutscenes add up to a movie.
Yeah,
It's one of
they
them.
do.
Somebody tell us, you video
Yeah,
nerds
but
out
Back
there.
to the Future, the video game, if you're going to play
Video
one, I would
games
recommend
nerds.
that. Because it's a great story, and it's not hard. You know, you don't have to punch the dad back in time in the jaw to move on. So
Okay. I mean, yeah, I'm not good at video games, so anything the least frustrating for me, the better.
yeah, very least frustrating. I played it. Rennie played it. We played it together. It's just fun. I'd probably recommend the PC version unless you have a console. But yeah, it's a great story.
Awesome. Okay,
All
I
right.
like it.
Can you tell we're not talking about the episode that much?
Yeah, well, one last thing. I mean, if we could find like a Star Trek RPG, like a
Yeah.
role-playing game, like
Mhm.
D&D, where you roll dice and stuff, I think that would make a good bonus show too. I've been beating this drum forever. I wanted to figure out if I could even create something like a Quantum Leap role-playing game as bonus content for the QLP.
Mhm.
It's just beyond me. You know, I barely can play a character, much less DM. So I'd have to have a lot more experience under my belt to do that, but I'd love to, again, just the idea of role-playing games jazzes me. So to do a Star
So would
Trek
you be the dungeon master and I would be the only one playing? How would that work?
That's
There's
well,
only
we would have
two
to
of us.
figure it out. We'd have to get a crew together and we'd
Get a
have to be
crew.
able to do it. And
Well, I
you
know we have
son
a
of a
captain.
bitch, I'm in, you know?
We have a captain, and we will be having a captain's table soon with the founders. That's coming soon, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Willard says they did Ghostbusters and Back to the Future.
So
games
I was right
together.
both times.
Yeah.
Two times.
Yeah.
Two
Oh, you know
sides.
why I didn't play the Ghostbusters one? I think I bought it like at where you buy the used video games. What's that called?
GameStop.
GameStop. Yeah, but then I saw that the Ghostbusters had a VR game, and VR games are so far advanced. I figured I'll just play that, but me and Rennie are still playing some Viking game that came with it.
Okay. So, wow, this feedback really led to a lot of great discussion.
Yeah.
I wish I could say the episode was doing us the same.
I'm going to miss
favor.
Jennifer.
I'm not, because she's barely a character.
That's true. She wasn't on for like past season, basically.
Right,
Once she
I
took
mean-
the candle. Do not light the candle.
Also, she's a cartoon.
For some reason, I'm attracted to cartoons.
This I know. I
Yeah.
just said that to bait you.
I guess
said
that's
that to bait you.
that must be a thing. Like somebody looks at it and goes, "That's a drawing on a page or a computer," but I just go, "That's Jennifer. She's pretty hot. She's blue." So I don't know.
Okay. Just
I
keeping
don't
my
know.
mouth shut here. Keeping
Yeah.
my mouth shut. Keeping my mouth
All right.
shut.
So let's see. Where are my notes? Let's go to my notes. Dixon Hill thing was funny. I liked that Billups was trying to create a whole backstory for
Yeah.
himself to go undercover. That was totally unnecessary.
Of
and
the
Ransom wasn't having
two,
it.
yeah, of the two stories, the Boimler story was stronger this time around, because it was a little less all the tropes and conventions. I just like, the more safe he tried to make himself, the more danger he inadvertently put himself in. So it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I thought that was a little clever. And what did you think of like the Apocalypse Now parody that they were obviously trying to do? That's why it evoked Heart of Darkness,
Mhm.
because it was a Joseph Conrad novel called
That
Heart of
Apocalypse Now was
Darkness
based
that
on, right?
Apocalypse Now was based on, along with a book by writer veteran Michael Herr called Dispatches. So they got the spine of Apocalypse Now from Conrad's Heart of Darkness, and they got the Vietnam flavor from Michael Herr's book. I have both of them.
Mm.
And I was really into it for a while. Like watching Apocalypse Now was just like, so I really wanted to go back to the source.
I never read Heart of Darkness, but I watched Apocalypse Now and I watched a documentary about it. And I think the documentary was called Heart of Darkness too, or something, some variant of that.
Could be, yeah.
So I understand what was going on. whatever the thing was, I didn't get it, but I watched it because why wouldn't you, right?
Wait,
Um,
wait. Now you're confusing me.
Apocalypse
Whatever.
Now. I didn't.
What do you-
It wasn't my thing. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's a war story.
See, we're gonna have to have a longer conversation here.
Okay.
You again, and I said this on the last show. You say to me, but I didn't understand it. I don't buy that you didn't get it. I can't imagine that you could watch a movie or something like a Lower Decks episode and literally not comprehend what's going on. I think it's just the way you phrase it that drives me crazy.
Yes. I understood it, but I didn't understand what people see in it.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Maybe.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Okay.
I don't understand the. Oh my God, you got to watch it, or how it makes the top lists of stuff. And I was like, it's a movie and it's good and it's well shot, and it's got Brando in it, right? Marlon Brando, was it?
Yeah, Brando.
Yeah. But I was
Brando,
like,
which they had to completely reshoot all of his stuff because he showed up on set like 200 pounds heavier
Yep.
than he
that
was
was in the
supposed to.
documentary too.
Yeah.
Because I'm like that. Like if there's something that like everybody should watch and has watched, and I'm left out, I'll watch it. And if I don't get it, or like I don't get sucked in for some reason, I'm like, what are people seeing it? So then I'll watch a documentary. I'll listen to a commentary. So I try to fill in the missing pieces that I'm not going, wow, this is awesome. And sometimes I just can't do it. Like Donnie Darko was supposed to be an amazing film. Watched it, listened to the commentary. I'm like, I don't get it.
I came around on Donnie Darko maybe the second or third time I watched it.
Okay,
And then
I've
I
only
said,
watched
wait a
it
minute.
twice,
It's like,
I think.
yeah, it fell together for me better the third time. There's the charm, I guess. All right. So, and I don't mean to attack you with that. It's
No
just,
problem.
it's like a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah.
When somebody talks about, like they say about a joke, I don't get it. You know what? You do get it. You understand exactly why it's supposed to be funny. It's just not. So I'm not going to debase myself and insult my own intelligence by saying I don't get it. I get it just fine. It's just a shitty joke. So that's what, when you say I don't get it, it just like I feel that you're demeaning your intelligence.
So more like I don't get what other people's fascination with it is.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. So Donnie Darko takes a few times viewings. The reason I picked it up in the first place is because it had the commentary was by Kevin Smith. So I'm a big Kevin Smith guy. You can see him interviewing me on my YouTube channel. But yeah, so I was like, okay, maybe he'll explain it to me. Didn't get it.
It's just a giant time loop. It's all the movie is, really.
Yeah.
So
the rabbit, and I don't know. I'll watch it again maybe.
I like Donnie Darko. I like
You're
Donnie
anathema.
Darko. You're anathema. You're anathema. I'll just say this to put a bow on the Donnie Darko thing. I like the way they portrayed the idea of traveling in time in that movie. It was a funky visual kind of deal. Anyway,
so it's a time travel film. Maybe that's what I didn't get.
I guess. Ruffalo Taco is he's challenging you to a Kevin Smith off.
Ruffalo Taco says, my name was in the end of the credits of Clerks 2 in the MySpace section. Hey, guess what, Ruffalo Taco? We're Eskimo brothers eating Eskimo pies together for Clerks 2 because I'm in the credits of Clerks 2 too. Check it out. Look for Albie. I'm there.
Check it out.
Might be Albert Burge. I don't know what they put on there.
I think you guys need to have a Clerks YouTube show,
maybe,
which I'll never watch. I've never seen Clerks.
Dude, you got to watch a trilogy. Got to watch a trilogy.
No, I don't. I'm sorry, Albie. I don't get it.
Yeah. Me and Serenity did the whole homage to Kevin Smith's Mecca. We took the trip and we went to the convenience store. We went to the comic book shop. We went to his childhood home. That's no longer there. There's because it got wiped out by whatever that hurricane you guys had a while ago.
Superstorm Sandy.
Yes. So that got wiped out. But we went to the place where it was, and then we walked around his neighborhood and hung out at a little park there and did all kinds of stuff. So that was fun. I went to his movie theater that the 4:30 movie was filmed at, but it was closed that day. They closed Sundays, and Sunday was their only day in Jersey. So, but yeah, I'm in the credits too. I'm in the credits of a lot of things. So
cool.
Check me out. The new Voyager documentary that they've been promising us for like 5 years now.
Even I know it's called To the Journey. It's not a cup of coffee, but it's the only thing I had to hold up.
To the Journey.
Yes.
All right. I think that was the Your Anathema was the the time when me and Serenity laughed out loud the biggest because we were always saying you or whatever. Like if we have no answer for something, we just accuse the other person of being whatever object we just said.
Gotcha. Well, this is good because at least they were copping to the fact that this was written like bullshit. And it's Talin that points it out logically that communication is often the basis of a successful encounter or whatever, or miscommunication is, or lack of is anathema to successful. And yeah, that's when, well, you're anathema because yeah, she has no defense. It's bullshit. So what is Willard writing here?
I used to work at a convenience store and came up with an idea for a story based on my experiences, and then clerks came out. Damn, Kevin Smith beat me to it.
Happens to the best of us, man.
Happens to the best of us. But great guy.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing that stuck out on me, like I got nothing about the story. I got nothing because I didn't see a story in it. But like random things I saw, I enjoyed or see. The aliens that were offended, I think they were an Enterprise originally by Bormler eating.
Yeah, I don't recall those aliens. I don't know who they were. They were like Enterprise.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
TOS?
I think they were the ones that had Archer and Feathers maybe at one point. Because the dog peed on something.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about that. Yeah.
For most of my life, I always was embarrassed by eating in front of other people. It's just something I didn't do because my thought always was it's just like reverse pooping. It should be, food going in and food going out is basically the same thing, and they should both be done in private. But now I kind of eat.
Dude, you're talking about one of the core rituals of humanity, breaking bread. Yeah. What is wrong with you?
I was the only child. I didn't go to school much.
Help me, I don't get it.
But like maybe it was because every time I would bring like a sub sandwich like 3 feet long to school, people would like sit around me and watch me eat it. Like it was some kind of competition or something, but I was the only contestant. I'm like, no, I just like big sandwiches.
So you made yourself ostentatious in a middle school setting and then were upset when people stared at you.
Yeah.
In a middle school setting.
It might have been the spray painted hair and the glitter too. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So and no role for Tarako. I do not poop in public. I barely even poop in private.
But I like that it kind of pointed out that, yeah, the things that we are offended by, like our basic human functions, no matter what they might be, blowing your nose, urinating, defecating, mating, it's all the same stuff. It's just some things we go, oh, that's disgusting. Do that in private, or just people don't notice. It's weird.
Yeah, no. Hey, listen, you were just talking about that when you were sick and they wanted you to like pee the bed. You're like, I literally can't. Yeah. The same with me. Like I'm in my house and I'm alone. And if I'm, trying to do my business and even though the hint of a whisper of somebody being able to hear me, I lock right up.
I have a sound machine that plays shower sounds in my bathroom, like at volume 11.
Okay.
So it's weird the way our houses are set up here. We're on a pretty big site, 3-lot site, they call it. But they're all like the backs of each house is facing each other and they have a pool behind us and we have a huge lanai. And like, I can hear them talking when they're in a pool, even though they're like 50 feet away. It's like the inside of the Capitol building or whatever that is.
The rotunda.
The rotunda. Yeah. And so like, it's weird. So I just have all kinds of noise all the time.
Gotcha. I have a fresh shell from new neighbors, but we'll save that for another show.
Yeah, that'll be good. I'll ask you about that next time.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's better than milking.
Buffalo Taco says you're a rotunda.
There we go.
All right.
Whoop. He's milking space whales.
Yeah. I wasn't interested in the story at all. Why, if you're in Starfleet, if you go AWOL, you're not getting paid.
Right.
I don't think you sign a contract. It's
maybe he's got like fleet secrets. Maybe he's got to be deprogrammed.
What was going on there? Because he was definitely like that coworker that you have sometimes that's been there way too long and they're just mad at everything, and you don't understand why. He seemed like over everything.
Just do an exit interview and be on your way. Yeah. There's no money, so you can stay on that cruise ship as long as you want. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Maybe they have to kick you off to make space for somebody else. But the cruise ship has a whole lanai devoted to people who want to hide. I mean, that was one of the gags. It wasn't a funny gag, but it just was silly. I kind of like the skiing bit.
Yeah, why is Lieutenant Boimler climbing a mountain?
He's not. He's
Boimler's
skiing
climbing.
down.
He does climb to get up there, but it made me think of the Captain Kirk climbing a mountain song.
Go climb a rock.
Yeah. So, that was the Endeavor that Captain Tercel was on. See, that's setting up another story. Sure, we might get there.
I think that you're giving this too much credit. Not everything is setting up a larger story.
You don't think so?
These are all throwaway gags, dude.
The anomalies. They're it's like the running thing so far.
Right, but he was talking about milking space whales.
Yeah, that's got nothing to do with anything.
Right. So what is? I'm sorry. The Tercel was the ship that he was on. I'm confused.
Oh,
maybe you're referring something. Maybe we're talking about different things.
The Voyager lookalike. Remember, the
Oh, weren't they teensy?
Yeah, microscopic, and they were controlling everything.
Yeah. Honestly, I forgot all about that because I watched the episode the night before we were supposed to record, and then you lost power, so we didn't get to record. Yes. And then we had Halloween, so we couldn't record. And then we were supposed to record last night, and this is, everybody loves hearing about this stuff, but I was just sick yesterday and I was not feeling well. And I sat down to rewatch the episode and I basically hard passed out. And I woke up, I was like, oh, let me try to watch it again. And I got to the same exact part where I passed out before and I passed out again. So I completely forgot about the ending with the little tiny ship.
Oh yeah. Broke your little ship. Yeah, it reminded me of the Deep Space Nine episode with the little ship, but that was bigger. This is microscopic, so it was cool that Rutherford was able to find it. I guess it's just living in their some kind of computer bay now.
Yeah, I mean, where are they going to go home? How do they breathe? Right? Like, aren't the air molecules too big?
Our oxygen would be too big for them, right?
Right. Yeah. So do they have to beam and convert oxygen to a smaller? And wouldn't that cause a whole bunch of nuclear explosions?
Splitting atoms? I was asking all that things about that animated series episode where everybody was tiny.
Or when they put on their force belts, how do they breathe? Like, where's the oxygen coming from? I don't know.
Maybe they can breathe in the underwater dry park.
Okay. There's that. Yep. I got to see that.
Got the water park and then the underwater dry park. I don't even know what that is. Funny jokes, things happen, but no real story. So that's gonna.
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough to discuss. What did you think, though? There was that one of my favorite scenes in first season, Next Gen. It might be second season, but they had the callback to those weird verve pipe thingies that Picard had on his holodeck fantasy of France when he was doing his own minuet thing.
Is that what they were from? I did not recognize them at all. I just thought they looked like bongs or something.
Yeah, no, that was actually from a Next Gen episode where Picard
had his own
Paris holiday. Yeah, I think so.
I want to say season 2, 1. I'm going to guess 1 because that's coming up soon, I think.
All right, so you'll see it in there.
Okay, I'll have to look for it.
It was one holy alien instrument, and the fact that they made T'Lyn like the dude who plays them, and they made that somehow integral to the nanites getting corralled.
What was his name? I know that was kind of an homage to the rock creatures from Star Trek 5. Rock Talk. The rock creatures from Star Trek 5 that never made it in. So I think that was something similar, maybe. It was weird that how she expressed her fandom. I think spending time with humans tends to make Vulcans less Vulcan-y.
Oh goodness! Sorry, I'm rude.
You're on hour number 5 of the live stream, Chris. It's okay. You're allowed to.
It's okay. I apologize. Listen. That's case in point to Paul. We can't use Spock as an indication of it because he's always been, somewhat human. Anyways, that's
half
part
human
of.
Also.
Yeah, he's what I'm saying. His mannerisms too, unless you try to go with the Star Trek motion picture version of him where he really wants to purge all his emotions and can't. So
that always confused me.
What made him take that hard left turn into like being uber Vulcan?
There must have been something traumatic that happened that we missed, right?
Yeah, I think they even tried to address it on the Star Trek Continues, the Vic Mignogna show.
Great episode.
They lost like a crew member. It was like their last episode. And they even have Vic switch into the motion
TMP
picture
uniforms.
uniform.
Yeah, I love that part.
Yeah, and basically the Phase 2 uniforms, right? No, Phase
Yeah.
2 was just like a rehash of the motion picture uniforms were completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Willard writes, Station 80 was mentioned again, and I noticed that not the next episode, but one after is called Episode 80. So there's a slight buildup in this episode. So I guess we're all destined for Station 80.
Did you read the list of the episodes coming?
I did, because what I did, because I'm really bad at doing the synopsises for the YouTube. So I actually sat down. I had a slow morning at work, and I did templates for every single one of them.
Oh.
So now all I have to do is write the blurb about what we actually talked about and send it to you. And
Very
it
cool.
never has to be a delay again where, oh, I've uploaded it 6 hours ago. Can you yeah. Sorry.
Now I just put in pre-release audio or something.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. I love it.
Because only the patrons get that anyway. So
right. So
they know it's getting early. So your synopsis is coming or whatever. So what stuck out? I mean, did anything stick out for you, or was it just a bunch of random jokes put together?
What stuck out for me, and maybe is this going into, are we like final thoughting this? Like, where are we at with time? Like, what are we doing?
I am just honestly struggling with this episode. So
I hear you. So, I mean, what stuck out, I would say, kind of goes into my final thoughts on the episode.
Okay, so do we want to do the things we do before our final thoughts and wrap up?
Yeah, because I really don't know. Yeah, like you said, like there's no logical progression to the story. There doesn't seem to be any buildup. It just seems to be the lower deckers learning once again how to get out of their own way and making their own problems. And if there's a bigger point to be had, I don't know what it is. So it's tough to talk about. And again, I completely forgot about the tiny ship. So
on first week's watch of this, before I see the rest of the season, it didn't do much for me. But maybe when as the seasons as a whole, and I binge it again, it might
slot in somewhere after the fact, right? There might be some kind of
I might have changed my mind in the future. One thing, the pogo no phobia I have was relieved because Boimler no longer has a mustache and he's more starting the beard because there's like 8 hairs now.
Right. So you're okay with that. I was listening to that today. I was like, you are ridiculous.
I don't know what the hell it is.
And that's why I love you.
Okay. So what do we got to do before we do our final thoughts and wrap ups? I'm looking down the thing. We got if anybody wants to call in, it's okay because it's not hair.
I was waiting for you to notice
it. Version of hair, I do, unless it's eyebrows or the top
this
of someone's
is the
head.
Dawning of the age of Aquarius. Is that from hair? I don't even know.
Aquarius. I like the musical. It's a good musical.
Okay.
I wouldn't sit in the first few rows. I'll tell you that. I don't know if you've ever seen it live.
I have not.
Okay, well, there's a lot of surprises in that show. I think you have to be 18 to go. And
it's probably all Merkins now.
Yeah, anyway. They'd have to wear them, right? Because nobody has it anymore. I don't think. Your episode crush, Chris. Who was your episode crush?
Cripes. T'Lyn.
T'Lyn, yeah, I like T'Lyn. Now, is this alternate T'Lyn or is this our T'Lyn?
Whichever one was on screen.
Yeah, I think they're exactly the same. Because I've been looking. I watched the episode again where they were in the slightly different universe. And I was trying to see, like, is one like her hairband behind her ears, in front of her ears, different length of boots, anything, nothing. So I think they're exactly the same. So I don't think if they transferred it would be any different.
I just like T'Lyn in this if I'm going to go with a crush because she was the only voice of reason.
Mm-hmm.
And she's the only one that showed any kind of agency whatsoever. I guess maybe Rutherford and Tendi did too, but I can't tell you what they did in this episode besides tech to tech, which is fine. I mean, that's just a Star Trek staple. Tech to tech. Let's tech to tech.
Got to tech to tech.
You know, sometimes even the lower deckers got to tech to tech.
My crush was, I'll go with Jen, just because we might not see her again, and she's been my crush on several episodes. So,
well, there we go.
The one with the candles was pretty good. What was your favorite part of the episode, Mr. Christopher?
This is what I was skirting around before. My favorite part of the episode was getting Billups and Ransom into an actual storyline. I put story in air quotes, but an actual storyline with one of the lower deckers. It again fleshes out that bridge crew just enough so that when they're on screen, I'm not just blanking out because they're just two-dimensional authority figures. And
they are two-dimensional, though.
yeah, no, I think that, like you said, it was funny that Phillips wanted to make his own backstory about with the gambling problem, like I don't know, whatever it was, and Ransom is just so basic. He just like says his own name, but with like another letter, like so. I just thought those were some pretty clever gags. How about you? What was your favorite part of the episode?
I did enjoy that part too. I liked all the canary talk and how like Boimler knew what he was talking about, but the other two had no clue. What's that canary thing about?
Yeah, it's hard to think of animals that can ski good,
right? So I don't know this, but I think what happened is they had a script, like a story outline, and they had a script, and then the writers all get together and they punch up the jokes and tell the jokes. I think the jokes part of the episode were very successful and funny and amusing and laughter, but the story part never came together for me. But my favorite part, no.
No favorite part, huh?
Not
Okay.
really. I mean, I kind of liked the Jen and Mariner part a little bit, seeing more of their relationship, even though it's she was just effing with her. So I don't know.
Okay.
It was just fun to see them interact again, because I think that was the last person we saw Mariner have any interest in. Like, I don't think we've seen her date since Jen. So I don't know. It was just fun to see them together again, because it's been a long time. So
All right.
But no real favorite part.
All right. Well, then how about a 47? Any 47?
I did not notice one. There probably is one, but I didn't notice it. I didn't search the script. I didn't have time tonight. We got trivia. Who's reading the questions?
We went into southern. I don't even know who's reading. I'm going to read it for you because I already have one.
Thank you.
Okay. 3 questions. In the original series episode Arena, members of what alien species forced Captain Kirk to fight the Gorn captain?
Oh, I had Gorn ready to go for
right. You thought it was going to be a Gorn question.
I thought it was going to be like the easiest question, like back of a Wheaties box question. Anything I picked would be wrong.
They show up in the end in their toga.
That's
and their
half
laurel,
the episode.
And their gold laurel leaves. Yeah.
The Telosians. That's wrong. I don't know.
The Metrons.
I would have never got that. Nope.
All right. You might know this one. Why did Karoth sanction the cloning of Kalis or Kalash in the Next Generation episode Rightful Heir?
Because they wanted to unite the Klingon people?
They said rally on the card, but I'll accept it.
Thank you.
I'll allow it. From what classic horror film did makeup artist Michael Westmore draw inspiration for the Riemanns' appearance in the motion picture Nemesis? We were just talking about them.
There would be a guess. I would say the creature from the Black Lagoon.
No, but it is old school like that, even older, and you won't be able to unsee it now. Nosferatu.
Oh, okay.
Right? Makes a lot of sense.
The silent
right?
one. I watched the silent one before. Yeah.
Yep. So you've only got 1 out of 3 there, son. Might be the worst one we've ever done.
Yeah, I just did not know them. So that was a good card.
Good card.
I like Michael Westmore. He was in Vegas when I was there. He was doing makeup in front of people for people.
Cool.
There's a new season of Face Off coming up. Mackenzie, his daughter, hosts that.
Oh,
it was on Sci-Fi. I don't know if it still is, but I saw on Netflix on their thumbnail for it. It said new episodes coming soon.
Okay, well, those could be old episodes that Netflix just acquired. So.
It could be. I haven't had a chance to check it out.
Anyway,
Hey, do you got a Trek and Tell?
I mean, I have something that I thought I was going to open on this show, and then I realized, well, it's more probably Quantum Leap, but it's still so cool, and I want to show it to our Treksplorers who
All right.
maybe haven't seen the live feed.
That sounds like a good idea.
Since there's also a Trek connection because he is Captain Archer.
Captain Archer.
But as you guys know, we went to see Scott in New Hampshire, Man La Mancha, blah, blah, blah. We spoke about it a million times. But Stacy, who went with us to that, along with other members of the crew that we were with, took a group picture with Scott. And she then saw Scott again in DC doing his Lincoln play. And she brought the pictures developed, and she had Scott sign the picture right there. And there I am in my Get Leaping shirt and my big fat face.
Leaping.
And there's Scott Bakula and me.
Scott Bakula.
And another Scott. And another Scott signature, courtesy of Stacy from Corman Productions podcasts.
Dave's in the photo, and
Dave's in the photo. Yeah, Rennie and you and Brian Green,
me, and Adam, and Scott.
A lot of fun there. And now it's my third autograph that I've gotten from Scott. The second one was the one that I got from him at the connector of the mirror image shot that Skip sent me. And the first one I ever got from Scott was him signing my book Foreknowledge. So I now have 3 Scott signatures, and that's my Trek and Tell. Captain Archer's signature. I'll put on my NX01 hat just in Scottidarity. We'll call it Scottidarity.
I think I have 2. I got the playbill from Man La Mancha, and the one that I paid for dollars for in Las Vegas. Is that in any way a tax write-off? In any way?
I don't know that roar is legal tenders.
It's a bunch of zeros and then some.
That's between you and your tax accountant. It's something that a man only tells his tax accountant in the dark.
Will never go in an auction room again.
All right. So, but you did wind up getting double. You got twice the fun.
I got
for
Brent's
that.
binders on.
Yes, you got Brent on the other side.
That was a nice.
Right. It was a nice lucky strike extra.
Yes. So, but wow. Okay.
What's your Trek and Tell?
My Trek and Tell. I'm going to continue at Lower Decks with the Funko Pops.
Okay.
Some Manthan Rutherford.
Ooh, there he is.
Love this guy. Really do. Eugene Cordero. I think one of my favorite characters. I think if I was on the show, I don't know. I kind of see myself as Boimler, but I'd want to be Samantha Rutherford just because he's so smart and cool and kind.
I see myself as Ransom.
I could see that because you're so handsome.
No, because I'm just full of myself.
But yeah, these are really nice. I've been showing these off. These are actually Rennie's because she's a big, Lower Decks, and she's got a huge Funko Pop collection. So it's one of those things where, okay, she loves Funko Pop, she loves Lower Decks. I'll order them. So, but like everything that I am and everything that I have is hers anyway. So,
well, there you go.
But yeah, so that's the Funko Pop. For the live stream, my TV's about to go out, and I still don't know how to fix that. I press buttons, but it doesn't do anything. So that's about a minute. So we should wait that minute or just vamp for a minute so I have a good cutting point.
Okay. So, I mean, Funko Pops, I only have the Frasier ones. I really wish they had made a Quantum Leap Funko Pop. At least Sam, But you could see Al with a little hand link. And he's so colorful. Like, I can just see them in my brains. And every time I went out to look for those Frasier Funkos, I said to myself, there's got to be a Quantum Leap one, right? If I just think it hard enough, I'll will them into existence. But no Sam in a Fermi suit.
It makes no sense to me because at least do a limited run, right? I guess I got to make enough to pay for the injection molds to be worth it or something.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I don't know. Because it seems like they have Funko Pops of my aunt. It's like there are just a gazillion of them that are just ridiculous. Like, I don't know.
All right, I'm coming back. It'll take 10 seconds.
So anyway, that's my Funko Pop grievance.
You said aunt.
My not so Funko Pop.
Maron.
Maron.
All right, it's coming. So we know I streamed too long tonight. Okay, I got to change the sound back so I can hear you. Sorry for the live audience. This will be taken out. Can I hear you, Chris?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Because you would think they would sell at least 10,000 Sams and probably 8,000 Als. And who would buy a Sam without an Al? So maybe more.
I feel like Al would be the get. Like it's getting the one I had the most trouble finding. It was Niles, but you'd think that Niles is a no brainer. I would think the Martin and Eddie one would be the one that would be the toughest to get. But
Did you get Eddie with that? Right?
Yeah, and I found him relatively right away. I mean, I found Fraser first like that. And then that's what sent me on my quest. But it was finding the Niles where I had the most fun because I just had to go prowl around so much. And you'd be surprised at how many different types of stores sell Funko Pops for no reason.
They're like a thing. They really are. I was very hesitant to start. I think I started with Ready Player One. And once I bought the complete Ready Player One and the variants and the exclusives, because they had like all different exclusives for different stores, then I was pretty much hooked. And now we have them everywhere you look, and I don't know what to do with them.
Well, that's the other reason why I just limited it to 3. And
You're a very smart man.
It was just such a whim. It was a weird time too. I don't know why I went. It was like probably avoidance because it was right around the time, shortly after Laura's father passed away, and all of a sudden I got like this bee in my bonnet to just go out and search for these things. So
It's
maybe
fun.
it was my way of coping. I don't know.
Yeah, it's treasure hunting. It really is. All right. Roll for Tarako says, I'd buy Sam and Al if they made a Funko Pop hand link. I'd buy that too. Yeah. Whoever's not making like a cheap prop of a hand link officially licensed is crazy. Because I'd spend like $30 for one, not 600. But if I didn't buy that autograph in Vegas, maybe I could have afforded one.
Yeah, right. I don't know if this is coming through on mic, but anyway.
Yeah. Ooh. There's some Star Trek Funko Pops. I've seen original series. I've seen Next Gen, maybe a Borg or two. They have the Star Trek Picard ones coming out. Rennie has Mirror Universe Uhura, I know.
Mirror
there's no
Hoshi.
Enterprise ones, I don't think. Maybe Scott has something like there will be no Funko.
Yeah, right. No Funko Pops for you.
Yeah, that's weird. No DS9 that I know of. I haven't seen it. It's weird.
Oh, DS9 gets no love.
Yeah, but dude, everybody loves Deep Space Nine. They would so sell. Oh, well. I'm glad they don't, because that would be more money out the window.
Yeah, I guess. And where are you going to put them? And who's going to heat it? As my mom would say.
Exactly.
So,
is it cake? No, it's not.
Final thoughts and ratings.
I'll let you go first. No, I'll go first. No, I'll let you go first.
No, you hang up. I think that again, just lowest point of this season so far, and exemplary of a lot of the stuff that I don't like about Lower Decks. Blatant stupidity, rampant tropes, and just phoning it in sometimes. So I give this one, a -2.
Wow.
-2 milked space whales out of 5.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I was waiting for it to come together for me, but it didn't. But I was well entertained while there wasn't a story. I did like the humor and the jokes and the gags and the Easter eggs. But that's not enough for me to give it a good rating, because it's not an episode I'll look back on and go, oh, it's the one where they just joked about something. And again, I haven't seen the whole season yet, so maybe I'm not understanding that they just needed these important plot points. Maybe this is just mostly an exposition dump episode so we can enjoy future episodes. I don't know.
I guess if you want to paint it with that brush,
okay. I'm going to give Mike McMahon the benefit of the doubt.
All right.
Because he is such a good showrunner and writer. But this is going to be my lowest score, I think, so far for Lower Decks, and I'm going to give it not negative, positive one, but a 2. Icosahedron.
Oh, there we go.
Icosahedron. 2 of them. So 2 out of 5. And I think the last one I gave 7 or 9. I don't know. So this wasn't for me, dog. But nice effort.
All right.
But I'll watch it again. I'll watch, I'll stream it all. It's not like I won't watch it. I'm not going to avoid it. It's not like the next time we're talking about Star Trek: The Next Generation. What are we talking about next time? We got on our bonus show and our standard show, Chris.
Next up on our Lower Decks recaps is season 5, episode 4, A Farewell to Farms. I wonder if they're going back to Bradward's home on his grape farm or his raisin farm.
Is that why his hair is purple?
Could
Makes
be.
sense.
Could
grew up on
be. And on our next recap of TNG, we're doing Too Short a Season. That's me being old. Like, I don't know, you got to do that thing with your mouth and like you have an imaginary lozenge. I don't know. I don't really know how to do it. But boy, oh boy, Too Short a Season.
Too Short a Season. Did you watch it yet? I didn't.
Too long an episode.
Last possible moment.
Yeah, I mean, dude, oof, do we have to?
Yeah, we just give it a bad rating now. And
can we just get it over with? Can we just spare everybody?
We might find something in it. We don't know.
All right, if you say so.
It's the only one I actively dislike, I think, out of all of Star Trek.
Too Short a Season.
A Farewell to Farms. So that's a play on A Farewell to Arms, obviously, right?
A Farewell to Arms, yeah. The Hemingway book. So
I went to his house in Key West. Did you go there?
No, I went to Edison's house somewhere in Florida.
Dude, that's 5 minutes from my house.
Oh, I had a great time at that Edison Museum.
Next time, call me up.
I didn't know you then.
Oh, okay. Time travel.
I didn't even know you I didn't even know what a podcast was then.
Okay, so it was a while ago. Next time you go, Rennie will show you around his science lab there.
Yeah, it was pretty cool where they had made rubber from some plants on the and they have a physic tree with the physic nut out front, and that's where they discovered explosive diarrhea in that lab. Anyway,
you can see the bamboo in the swimming pool, and he was deaf, so he listened to his records by biting the record player. It's interesting. It's an interesting place to go. I like taking Rennie there during Christmas because they decorate it with lights and trees.
Gotcha. Science is a strange trip, man. Just how he chose to science, let me tell you.
Oh, Willard said I was 2 hours away from him in Vegas and I didn't call him. So next year, if we're still going to Vegas, we'll have to call Willard.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. So I think that's it, right? Did we forget anything this time that we have to double up on next time?
Honestly, I think we had probably a much more interesting discussion because there was nothing to talk about in this episode. Yeah. So
I don't know what, I'm not mad because it's not like second to last episode, third to last episode. It's early in the season. Like Masks, I was mad at because we had 3 episodes left and they're just wasting it on silliness that doesn't mean anything.
I don't know. I still haven't seen Masks. So
you haven't seen Masks?
I'm going to reserve my judgment.
Okay.
I'm going to reserve
Brent's
my
good
judgment.
in it, but they gave him a script and he said, "You really want me to do this?" And he just went for it, I think. It's just insanity. It's like a fever dream.
Okay. I love it. I already love it. I'm going to go full Albie on this. I'm going to commit to loving it. But we want to know what you love out there. You can tell us on patreon.com/Treksploration. That's where our main hub of discussion is. Please go there and join our community. Patreon.com/Treksploration. Leave us a missive on what you think of season 2, episode 3, the Best Exotic Nanite Hotel. You can also Instagram us, Instagram.com/Treksploration Pod. So that's at Treksploration Pod on Instagram, at Treksploration on X. Email us, TreksplorationsPod@gmail.com. Get us on the phone, 707-847-6682. No one will answer. It'll go right to a voicemail.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared that you're going to have to talk to me.
I'll upload it to this thing and we can play it on the air.
Yeah, we'll play it on the air. So get your voice heard, 707-847-6682. And we can do some Trek and Tells if you would just send me something at P.O. Box 542, Bayport, New York 11705. That's PO Box 542, Bayport, New York 11705. I'm looking for both Trek and Tells and feedback that we can do during the feedback segment. So, and as always, you can comment right here on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Treksploration, right down in the comments below. So I think that we've gone above our time limit for this episode of Treksploration, and we're about to turn the clocks back too.
Oh, so we can do another hour. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's. Okay, never mind.
Let's talk about Jen a little bit more.
So what is it, Albie? You gave me a hey, Chris.
At least we got to wear Hawaiian shirts for this episode,
right? That was a lot of fun. We didn't
weren't
mention
really
it.
wearing Hawaiian shirts, but they were going to like a beach type thing, and
right, it was tropical.
And I already wore the tan open thing for the Riker episode, Angel 1. So
got it. And I always put sunscreen on every day because skin cancer is a bitch.
Yeah, so. And but luckily the local sunlight knows when you're tanned enough, so it stops. But it didn't know for Apocalypse Now, Admiral. But whatever.
Yeah, it's all right. He was an idiot anyway.
So thanks for joining us, and hopefully next week we'll be on Lord XB. Very amazing. Farewell to Farms.
Farewell to Farms. Until then, a farewell to all y'all.
For Treksploration, I'm Albie.
And I'm Chris.
And we'll see you next time.
On the farm. Maybe.
So what are we wearing next week? Do we wear
overalls?
Overalls and like a straw hat and have straw sticking out of our mouth? Or do we have a pitchfork and we could be like, what is it, American Gothic? And you could be the guy and I could be the woman.
I saw that painting. I saw that painting in the Chicago.
In real life? Where is it? In France?
In Chicago.
Is
with
it?
Abe Froman, the Sausage King.
Sausage King of Chicago.
Yeah. Okay. I saw it in the Chicago Art Museum and the Surat one too that Cameron's looking at. And they just keep going to the little girl.
How big is American Gothic?
American Gothic's not that big. It's not teeny like the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa, it's like somebody painted it.
I always assume
the Mona Lisa is like it's teeny.
3 by 5 feet. Really?
Teeny. Yeah, it's teeny, and you can barely get to it. I got a good picture of it on my phone, but I mean, I had to like hold my arm up.
Very cool.
Yeah, American Gothic's a standard size, like not too big, not too small, and that I always call it Surat. Surat one is huge. It's like a wall mural. So you'd know it if you saw it.
I'll have to show some of my paintings on here.
I love it. All right,
I'm going to hit stop, and that's our credits. Live audience, thank you so much.
Thank you, Thank you guys.
Tarako, thank you guys for staying up late with us and seeing us on both streams. Really appreciate it. So we're going to end the live stream now, and we hopefully next few days we'll do Too Short a Season. Right?
Yeah, Too Short a Season. Willard, I don't know that I saw your email. Are we still live or are we no?
Let me check.
Willard, she's asking you about. He's waiting for an answer about my suggestion from that last email. Needs to make plans. Blah blah. I wouldn't put that up. I don't know that.
I'm hiding it.
Hide it. Yeah. Willard, I'll take a look at the email and I'll answer it. I'm sorry, it probably slipped through the cracks. I don't know if you know this about me, but I work like a gazillion hours a week, and I come home and I'm just dead. Like.
Chris has his own grape farm, but it's only for raisins.
Yeah. So, but it wasn't that we're ignoring you or anything like that. It's just
we're just constantly behind on everything. But it's good you pointed out. That'll help us go looking. Thank you so much.
I need to leave my past behind.
Yeah, and me.
I need to leave my behind in the past.
I'm in dad mode most half the week or more. So then it's just everything is focused on Rennie, and I just do this when she's not here to keep myself.
Gotcha. So I'll look for an email of pictures of your dogs.
Oh, we got that.
So it's in that email, Albie.
Okay. I just got the picture part because that's the part I do, and I put those in the credits. So those are already in the credit roll.
Okay, so then it was probably already opened and down below on the stack.
I didn't leave it on red.
Right. So that's it's Albie's fault. That's why it's Albie's fault. We just figured it out.
Yep.
Because the way I have the email set up is all the unread stuff is up top.
Yep.
So he opened it. He didn't leave it unread.
I got the puppies on the credits though. So.
Never seen it. Didn't see it. So
all right, we're gonna end the live. Good night, guys. Thank you so much. Everybody watched, listen live. Bye.
Later, skaters.
All right, good job. And we are not live anymore.